John, it is so nice to welcome Dr. Terry Gibbs, an OBGYN from ProMedica's Toledo and Flower Hospitals. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for stopping by.
You were an emergency call. You were an emergency call yesterday, and here's why, right, China?
We stumbled upon, I was looking through People magazine,
Yes,
and I
let's clarify
saw
that.
Beyonce and this article about her wearing sky-high heels. We're not just talking about, the 3-inch pumps. We're talking about the stilettos. She has not said how far along she is in her pregnancy, but a lot of folks are speculating that she's about in her 3rd trimester. But this seems to be a big trend, not only in Hollywood, but a lot of just, normal people are starting to wear high heels.
Well, it's all about style. It's certainly not about practicality. And I'm sure they practice at night to be able to walk in those gracefully. And she probably has a personal trainer to make sure she can do that, because it's very impractical, and there's actually people tend to injure themselves more trying to do that, because you're a bit more clumsier pregnant when you're pregnant.
So your equilibrium is off.
Not necessarily that your equilibrium is off, but people are more prone to fall and just a bit more clumsy when you're pregnant. It has to do with hormonal changes, but it's true.
When my wife's been pregnant twice. We have 2 lovely children, and when she was pregnant, she heard these things from every single relative who thinks they're an expert on pregnancy and what you should do, what you shouldn't do.
Right.
And high heels were one of them. That it was what they said was that it's dangerous, not because of falling, but because of the angle that you're walking on and the way you could hurt the baby because you're lifting your heel. And that's garbage, right?
That's not true.
Okay.
No, that's not true. It's just impractical, and it's easier to fall, and your center of gravity is off. Your stomach's pulled out. It's just pregnancy wasn't made for these types of shoes.
Okay.
So what are your recommendations?
Recommendations is find something that you're comfortable in, something that's certainly flatter, more comfortable, and swelling and that kind of thing is very common in pregnancy. So you don't want anything that's tight, because by the end of the day, your dogs are going to be screaming at you. So.
My wife didn't even want laces.
Yeah.
She had zippered up sneakers.
Yes,
I had never even seen zippered up sneakers, but she got them, and by the end I was zipping them. That's how things go. But this isn't the only,
Like wives' tale. There's more.
about pregnancy.
There's books written. It's great. Just certainly the ones that we hear about during the day is if the pregnancy is has a boy, it's the heart rate below 140. If it's a girl, it's above 140. There's a lot of wives' tales like this, and they work pretty good because they work 50% of the time. So,
so a lot of people are proven right.
Yeah. So, but none of them are true.
None of them are.
I don't even know where they came from, but they're around.
You were just mentioning
The really odd one.
You were mentioning an odd one. Do you feel comfortable mentioning that on air?
Yeah. There's a lot of whether a person's pregnant, pouring their urine on a Drano. And I've just heard of very bizarre things over the years to figure out whether you're pregnant or not. And I think, personally, a pregnancy test might be cheaper.
Yeah.
And certainly more exact.
Well, but pregnancy tests don't clear the pipes, though. In your,
Right.
So at least the Drano test has a dual purpose, Doc.
Well, if this is true, maybe pouring the urine down the drain might work just as good as the Drano. I don't know.
Well, that's
so,
true.
Yeah, you get a lot of bizarre questions.
Yeah, a lot of bizarre questions, but
Wow,
it's fun.
fascinating.
It's fun. Never a dull moment.
Are people serious when they bring these up to you? I mean, just lastly before we go, is there one that stands out more than all as just, without obviously betraying patient confidence, is there one that's just the most bizarre?
No, I think the Drano one was the thing that was the most
That is
bizarre
pretty
to
weird.
me.
That you heard of, yeah.
But the verdict,
Interesting.
though, with the high heels, women in heels, at the end of the day, because we have people on our Facebook page who also said that they wore heels, highest heels were 3 inches, not 5 or 6. So at the end of the day, what are you suggesting? Because it seems like if some doctors have said if they're comfortable, you said that
Right.
Renee's doctor said if you're comfortable wearing it.
It's really to do with just a fashion statement, and it's not going to injure the baby as much as the mother's going to be uncomfortable if they can do that. And
Unless they fall, and then you risk
fall.
injury, right?
But most people aren't going to fall, but they're going to be probably having some sore legs, but it's not a practical thing.
Okay.
So.
Dr. Terry Gibbs, OB from ProMedica's Toledo and Flower Hospitals. We really appreciate your time this
Thank
morning.
you for having me.
We'll have